And hello and welcome everyone. Today, it seems like we are having a full house and Mark finally found his way back to our studio. Welcome back, Mark.
Thanks, Namir. How's it going?
Yeah, not bad. I can barely see you. You're so far away.
I know,
man.
right?
Yeah.
It's like we're in different area codes here.
It's nice to have you back. I believe your favorite person, Air Cruise One. Yeah, he's already posting those hood mirrors. Yeah, he was missing you a lot, man. All right, welcome everyone for another stream straight from the SCS software studio in Prague. And today we're gonna dive deep into the next chapter of a driving academy we recently released with the 1.55 update for both of our games. This chapter is called Truck Driving Proficiency, and I'm super glad that we have Mark back because he surely will demonstrate how easy is to pass all those super challenging, at least for me, super challenging scenarios.
Yeah,
And-
super easy.
Yeah, I want to see first try 3 stars, everyone. Every single one of them.
I can do a lot of them, but not all of them
Okay.
in first try.
We will see, I guess. And here with us, we have also two of our lovely colleagues, Wojta and Philip, who are part of the Driving Academy team. Welcome, guys. How you doing?
Hi.
Hi.
Great to be here.
Awesome. Wojta, you already been in one stream, right, related to the first chapter of Driving Academy.
That's correct.
So you liked it that much that you returned.
Yes.
Happy to see that. Happy to see that. And for you, Philip, it's your first time, I believe.
Yeah, so please chat, be nice.
Chat, behave. Bring your best behavior, chat. You excited? Nervous?
I'm excited because I'm excited to talk about this next module of the Driving Academy.
Awesome. Let's get straight to it. Can you guys, whoever from you, tell us briefly the main idea about the truck driving proficiency chapter? What was the reason, the idea, the goal to create, and why you guys decided to do these super challenging scenarios?
Maybe you can start.
Okay. Well, after the first module, which was all about learning the basic stuff, we wanted to move to sort of promote some independent thinking and using those skills you learned in the first module on your own. So that's the basic idea for you to deepen your skills you learned in the first module and sort of use them in a new context.
Okay, that's great. So do you think that, because like I said it a few times already in our previous streams, like when the company, the whole SCS software was asked to help to test you guys this upcoming chapter, I was part of it as well. And we've been given 4 scenarios, I believe, each one of us to like try to test it. And oh boy, I had such a tough time to pass them. So maybe it's just me, but for me, some of them, especially those from the later or the more down in the menu scenarios, were super difficult for us. Like, do you think that people who passed the first chapter like actually learned enough of skills and stuff to walk easily through through this chapter?
Yeah, of course, it's much harder.
It is. It's like some of them are super hard.
We are definitely confident that the first module, the first really helped. And it's also the proof is that the testers who played the second book and they came back to test the first one, some of them are not even that skilled drivers, but it was far easier for them to go through the first book, basically with no difficulties. And they have previously quite a hard time sometimes. So what we are confident it really works in increasing your skills basically as a driver.
I can tell that it is actually working because my colleague Peter, who have been tortured in this second chapter through many streams already, he's getting better and better. Like last time he was able to pass some of these scenarios even with the 3 stars. We will get back to that 3 stars concept and logics a little bit later, but can you tell me what all is different from the first chapter of the Driving Academy? Like what did you guys change except for, making those scenarios a little bit more difficult?
Well, if you remember in the first module, first of all, the whole scenario starts with pre-recorded tutorial.
That's true.
How
They are
to
gone now.
How to approach it. Now it's gone. Now you have to figure it out.
I saw that, Mark.
I know.
Oh.
You told me. You put the pressure on me. You wanted it in one try.
Sorry.
So that's one big change, because we give you enough information. Where are you? What's your goal? But figuring out how you should approach it and actually succeed the scenario, it's on your own. You have to figure it out.
Was that the reason or the idea behind it, to kind of force people to find the best way how to pass through the scenarios? Because I know that some of the scenarios, they even have like multiple ways how to park the trailer and how to finish the scenario, right? So you wanted to give people some freedom to choose and find the best way?
Yeah, because often in real life there's no one true answer how to successfully park your trailer somewhere. So with these we want to promote really your knowledge from the first book, and you can find the best parking spot or the best approach, even on your skill level. So you're not confident in parallel parking, so I'll choose different approach that I know I will be able to finish.
And there was also some feedback we saw that some players didn't want to watch like the whole intro video.
Those tutorial skippers.
Yeah, tutorial skippers. And they just want to know, just tell me what to do and that's it,
Okay.
So we also tried a little bit, faster it.
I bet a lot of them then. I bet a lot of those like in tutorial skippers, they are later like, oh my God, what am I supposed to do?
Of course.
So Mark, a question for you, because I believe you're still involved in Driving Academy team as well, right? You're like giving them some kind of feedback or help them to create these scenarios, and because you actually are former truck driver and even instructor.
Yeah.
So as we were talking about that in real world, when you need to back up a trailer or pack a trailer, there is no such thing like a standard, steps or instructions how to pass it every time. Is it like individual each time, or?
So there's like certain things that you if you turn the wheel a certain way when you're reversing, the trailer's going to go a certain way, right? But every time you're backing up, there's no one formula that's going to get you into the parking spot every single time, right? The basics. It's kind of like riding a bike. If you come around a corner the same way every time, it depends on the corner, depends on the slope of the road, all these things, you're going to lean the bike a little differently, right? It's kind of like the same way with driving a truck. You know the basics, you know what to do to get the trailer where you want it, and you put those to work to do the maneuver.
Would you say that truckers even, develop their own style in parking?
Oh, yeah,
reversing?
absolutely. Yeah, everyone has different ideas. They say, right, you put 5 truck drivers in a room, you're going to get 20 different opinions, right? So everyone's got their own idea about the best way to approach it. I tried to take my inspiration for like the instructions in the first module was what I found was the what helped students the best. The instructions I gave that helped students the most, those are the instructions we went with for truck driving basics. And yeah, like we said, with proficiency, it's kind of up to the player to decide what works best for them and their style.
Okay, cool.
And I also asked Mark, because his feedback was for me absolutely essential. We didn't want to do something that is like stupid from the
Or like non-existing or non-realistic in real world.
Yes. And we also asked him to give us some examples from the real life of some industrial areas to get some inspiration from, and some of scenarios were inspired, and one of these scenarios were basically copied, which is this industrial parking. It was copied from the real industrial area.
That's good. So you think that people even though that this next chapter was, created more for them to test their skills they learned in the first chapter, do you think, and I believe that they can still learn even more, right? Passing these, yes, challenging scenarios, a little bit more difficult, but maybe they will get the reversing even more in their hands, or...
Yeah, we really believe so.
We hope so.
So what you said the video tutorials at the beginning of each scenario, they are now gone. What other changes you guys made for this next chapter?
Well, we also wanted to put them more into the real world. So instead of having scenarios between all these barriers, some of them we put more into depot-like
Like
areas,
industry,
or
like situations
back
they
alleys.
can see in real life more
Yes.
than a closed testing track.
Yes, and also put more of these obstacles that can be there in the real world.
Yeah, some of them you guys put like so. I think you guys are evil. Like I don't know the name of the scenario, but it was kind of like a slalom that you were supposed to reverse without a trailer, with the truck only. It's one of the first ones.
The reverse slalom?
Something like that.
That was me.
And at the beginning, when you reverse just straight, there is a cone.
Yes, there is a cone.
And I was like failing, I believe 3 times on that. And then I realized I need to turn the steering wheel a little bit to avoid the first cone. So that's some evil tricks, man.
Before you start your engine, you should check your mirrors. So.
That's true.
Oh, there it is.
Maybe it's good to say that we were not.
Yeah, Mark is showing it.
Oh,
yeah.
There is a cone right behind. You see that? Those 2 cones right behind.
If you watch the
can't
intro, you would see.
You are not skipper.
Okay. I know it's my fault, but that's evil. That's evil, guys.
Okay, it's good to say that we were not the only one doing this kind of scenario design, level design. We were 4.
Oh, so did the team change a little bit from the first chapter to the second chapter, or did you guys get more people in the driving academy team, or less people, or?
Yeah, we are more. We are a bigger team.
Nice. So you said 4 designers, and then you also, I guess, you guys have some dedicated programmers that work with you.
Yeah.
Tell us about the team.
What I want to say that basically, so all these scenarios were made by 4 people, and everyone brings a different style and different approach to it, and I think it really works out very nicely. That even I would say also how hard is it? It depends on the character of.
So there is always someone who's super evil, right, Philip?
Yeah.
I think there is even more evil designer.
Damn it.
Yes.
Not here.
There it is.
Damn.
Hi, Kuba.
So were those 4 people the same for Euro Truck Simulator 2 and American Truck Simulator? The design, yeah?
Yes.
You guys did the scenarios for both of the games?
Yes, and I would like to note that even though that part of the core scenarios is similar or same, there is a lot of changes and even specific new scenarios for each of these games.
So it's not like when you pass it in one game that you will be able to basically do the same in the other game. Some of it it's like little bit changed, some of them is completely changed.
Yeah, we put a lot of care into having these differences between these games. So
cool.
I would say like 50% of the scenarios are very, very different. So
that's nice. So those who have both of the games, you can have even more content and even more challenges.
And I really recommend to play it because it's very, very nice to compare also this.
And Mark is nicely demonstrating how rewarding feeling that is when you pass it for 3 stars, right?
Wow.
Yeah,
good
first
job
try.
on that. Good job on that. But I told you the trick with the cones, behind you. So
I knew about it.
Okay.
Yeah, but speaking of the scenarios, I would like to little bit interact with our viewers and players.
Go for it. The chat is yours.
And I really would like to know if there are some scenarios that you really like, that you find, I don't know, good or great or entertaining, and maybe also some that you find a little bit less good or annoying.
Let us know.
Frustrating.
Those who went through it, tell us your most favorite one and your biggest nightmare. I think I liked the most one. It was in Euro Truck Simulator 2. Last stream we played it with Peter, and it's a scenario in the rain, and you are driving without a truck, and you're supposed to drive through some kind of like obstacles and to pass it in time. And at the end, there is like a ramp, which is you're not supposed to go there, but we did, and it was fun. Of course, we failed because you're not supposed to do that, but it was fun.
Thank you, it's mine.
Oh, nice.
Oh, really?
Did you put it there and you thought like, yeah, guy's gonna be like trying to jump over the ramp?
I will not tell.
I take that as an answer. But speaking of like most popular scenarios or most hardest or most difficult ones in your eyes, tell us yours, guys, as well. Like, which scenarios are your most favorite ones, or which one of them you find most difficult?
That's problem. I have a bias because you created some of them and
So you're gonna tell yours?
So, but I really appreciate Kuba writers scenarios, and I think he's a really clever guy, and he brought a very different approach to the scenarios, and they are also the hardest ones.
Which one of
it's
these?
It's like Scatterbrained.
Oh, someone mentioned that in the chat. Scatterbrain is hard. Yes,
I think it's one of the most hated and loved at the same time, and also Early Bird.
Oh yeah, don't let me
which is
let
kind
me
of
start on that one.
But
Jeez.
it's kind of puzzle and clever puzzle in my opinion. So I really like that.
That's one of those I had when we were testing it, and I think I did it after 23 tries, and of course not only from the interior camera, because that's basically too hard for my brain. What about you, Philip?
Well, I really liked Kuba's scenarios as well, but if we are
Did he bribe you guys?
but I would really like to mention also Yurai's scenarios, who joined us for the second book, and for example the Vertigo scenario he made. I think it was very interesting, and I sort of how to experience circles in a different ways, scenarios. So yeah, I really liked this scenario. But if I can pick one that's I am really proud is in America. It's probably one of those. I don't really remember the name because we sort of changed them, but the one where you back through the back alley.
I think I know which one you mean.
Reverse alley parking.
Yeah, and there you can also.
But you can drive forward through it.
Of course. There's at least 3 different approaches.
Yeah.
And so if you find a scenario frustrating, take your time, scout the area, and maybe you'll find easier solution.
I think whoever did that one put some poles there with some evil on their mind as well, because I believe at the end, where you are supposed to reverse park to the designated area, there is like one weirdly placed pole that is like, oh my god, who put it there?
I put it there. And
nice.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. Yeah. I think we had that moment a few streams back. What about you, Mark? Did you try all of them? I know you've been like on a business trip for past 5 weeks or more, right? But did you have a chance to play this chapter? Do you have any favorite scenarios?
Yeah, absolutely. So I actually took a little bit of a back seat to this module. These guys came up with a lot of the scenarios themselves. I like Vojta mentioned, if they had questions, I was always happy to answer. But a lot of this really comes from their evil, dark minds. Whereas the first book, I had a bigger part with the, especially with the instructions and stuff like that. This book, I was more like tester than anything. And we had a lot of actually disagreements about certain things. Where I was saying like, you guys are being a little mean, and then there's other times where I thought they should have been a little meaner. But yeah, the scenarios where you're really kind of put into real life situations, kind of like the one I'm doing right now. These are my favorite by far, and even the other ones, which may seem like a little less realistic, they're incorporating realistic elements, like situations that you might still encounter in the real world, right? And that's the core of this book, really. Everything can be done using like default keyboard settings, driving at like normal speed. You saw this one, I was not sweating it at all. I was driving like really like reasonable, no issues, 2 minutes, 46 seconds. I know this was a time scenario, but
Yeah.
if you approach it with a calm mind, it's totally doable.
Yeah. I would like to really note that we had a really extensive testing, and we made sure that it's playable on the wheel, on a keyboard. So really, it should be.
So it should be possible.
Yes.
With whatever hardware
Yes.
you have at home, with whatever peripherals.
Speaking of frustration,
Okay.
there is some way that can make it a little bit less, and I don't know if it's quite a well-known feature here,
Okay.
but we introduced a little feature for quick restart.
Really?
And there is a key you can assign to quick restart.
I wasn't aware of that.
Yeah.
That's cool. And you have to go to hotkeys
Yeah,
and
to
you
go
will find
to-
it there. And
yes. To
by
the
default,
options.
it's not
No.
assigned, right? But you can
Yeah.
assign it to whatever button you want.
Yeah, and this was also a discussion we had because we wanted to have it as a default, but at the same time we didn't want to mess with keyboard settings of our players, which
Yeah.
they would need to
True.
redo everything.
True.
So we just put it like this.
And we are kind of getting out of free keys on the keyboard, right? We have so many features in the game that most of the keyboard is already taken. But that's a cool thing. That's also new, right? With this chapter, that was not in the previous book.
It's only actually for driving proficiency. It wouldn't work with the previous one.
That would save me a few times with those Ear the Bird. I
Yeah.
spent so much of time like to restarting and skipping the instructions again.
So it skip instruction. The engine is already started. Only you need
So
to do
it's
just
super
to-
efficient to just
Yeah.
when you're like frustrated and it's like, oh my god, I need to do it again. You just press one key and you're back in the seat at the beginning.
Yeah.
Cool.
So Philip or Vojta, one of you guys mentioned that the names of the scenarios changed a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
I'm taking full credit for that. I got a little playful with the names on some of them. Some of them, reverse parking around a corner. It's kind of like the first book, really descriptive of what the scenario is. But some of them evoked such an emotional response in me that I had to name them something like, Nightmare Fuel Station. Because of the frustration.
but Mark, someone in the chat already asked previously, are those? I guess they are.
Mm-hmm.
Are those possible to encounter in the real world?
I mean, like I said, so not all of these are necessarily exactly something you would encounter, but they incorporate maneuvers you'd be forced to do, right? So we can take a look at Nightmare Fuel Station, for example, right? Is there ever a situation where you're going to have to pack back exactly in this way through a fuel station to get around a blockage in the road? Probably not. But is there ever a situation where you're going to have to back into some kind of depot off the road with like a really narrow driveway? Absolutely. I can't count how many times I've been in that situation. And, there's the guy at the shipper telling you, oh, we get trucks in here all the time, and you do what you got to do to get the load on the trailer, right? So, like I say, it all incorporates realistic maneuvers. There's nothing in this book that is, useless. If it was useless, we wouldn't have put it in. Everything that's in here is putting you in a situation you could encounter.
Cool. Someone in the chat is saying that this one is very annoying.
This one is...
So maybe they are on the same board with you, same boat with you, with being a nightmare for them.
This one's very hard if you're using a truck like this, where you can't hang out the window the entire time because of the exhaust pipe being in the way. But it is... I mean, there's finesse to it for sure. And it's really all about this kind of first turn. Everything depends on this, how you get it into the parking lot and how you get it over towards the fuel pumps. Like, I already messed it up, I can tell. I came in way too tight there to the inside corner, which means I'm not going to be able to get it pointed the way I want it to. But that's okay. You guys can start talking now, so I don't have to talk while I'm trying to do this. That's fine.
But my next question is still for you, man.
Yeah.
Another thing is that we were kind of using with Peter in the previous streams was that when we were not sure, where our trailer is heading, we always stop the truck, apply the parking brake, and then we switch into the exterior camera.
Yes.
And if you will do it this way, it doesn't ruin your progress for the start of not changing the camera, because you guys as I heard, wanted to recreate a way that is kind of reflecting in real world that a truck driver can get outside of the truck and take a look. Is it something that happens in real life often, that truck drivers are getting out of the truck and going back to see where the trailer wheels are or whatever?
Oh yeah, absolutely. We actively encourage it. A lot of trucks you'll see if you're going down the highway, you'll see on the driver's side mirror GOAL, goal. And underneath in little letters, which you probably can't see from your car when you're driving alongside the truck, it says "Get out and look."
Mm-hmm.
It's not that big a deal if you take a little bit longer to back in. It is a big deal if you damage your truck or somebody else's truck or somebody's property, right?
True.
So, yeah, do what you got to do, to do it safely. Yeah, see that exhaust pipe?
Doesn't help in this case.
No.
But that's also a nice thing that probably is very similar in real life, right? Some of those nice chrome bull bars, exhaust, whatever, they can be a little bit working against you in certain situations.
Oh, absolutely. But you got to look cool in the stool, right? It's I should have backed up a little more. That's going to cost me another direction change. We can hang out like what I used to do, and as a professional driver on a closed course, I don't recommend this necessarily. We used to open the door and kind of fully hang our body out of the truck to see around the exhaust pipe.
While driving still?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Now, I've seen videos of guys standing on the step and then steering with their right hand while they're literally standing outside the truck. That's just not smart, because you could fall off the truck and now the truck's running away on its own. So that I definitely don't recommend. But yeah, sometimes you just kind of, it depends on the situation, right? Sometimes you got to really open that door wide and really hang yourself out a little bit. The more you get experience and the more you learn your truck and learn the mirrors and all that, you don't have to do it. Now I can pretty much back in with mirrors only, even with those little round convex mirrors. But when you first get in the truck and you see those super, that super convex image, it's hard to judge distance and stuff like that. And nothing's better than just having your eyeballs directly on the obstacle, right?
Are there any trailers that have backing cameras at the back?
There's systems you can buy to put them in, but
does it help?
I've never tried one.
Okay.
I ain't got that kind of money, man. I got to buy bumpers and drop visors
and exhaust
and pipes
that will
and chrome.
Be in your in your way, in your in your view.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, guys. Vojta, Filip, back to the topics of what all is new in this chapter. Is there anything else? Except, of course, for the 3-star system.
We cannot talk about 3 stars yet, or
you can dive into it. Mark was somehow nicely presenting a few scenarios with 3 stars. So tell us more about the system of giving stars. What was the idea behind it?
Okay, this was something we were really discussing a lot. Basically, also the whole system for kind of rewarding player for being extraordinary in some way, and we had a lot of variants and a lot of discussions about it. And at the end, the main idea behind it was to have it approachable for players who are not that skilled. So you should be able after you did the first chapter,
yeah,
you should be able to do the second module, the driving proficiency.
Well, but then I'm not able to do the second.
Well, and then we wanted to put some bonus condition to real challenges for really hardcore player, and this is this challenge with the stars. And the another idea was it's basically from the real life, especially what Mark told us, that in the real life when they do this exercise, they have you have some time to do it, 10 minutes to finish it, and you have some limited number of correction when you are back with the trailer.
So it is based on real
life. Yeah.
Real life and real scenarios when you're passing CDL license or.
Yeah, in Ontario, when you are doing your final test, you have to do a 90-degree alley back in. and you have 10 minutes to do it, and you're allowed to pull up 3 times to correct with no penalty, but you can pull up more times, but it ends up becoming a penalty on your entire road test. So if you made other mistakes in your road test, not checking your mirrors, hitting a curb, something like that, then, you really don't have much room to make error in reversing.
Is 10 minutes enough of time, or is it like close, or
for the amount of room they give you and everything? An experienced driver can probably do it in like under 1 minute, but these are guys who are still new. They're in their test, so they're a little bit intimidated by the situation, maybe a little bit nervous. So there's some people that will use the full time. A lot of my students, my goal was to get them backing in under the 3 attempts, so that they didn't have to worry about costing themselves points. But even if they're nervous on test day, even if they got to do 1 or 2 extra pull-ups, it's only 1 or 2 extra points. And to get them doing it in about 5 to 6 minutes. Most of them have no problem doing it in 6 minutes, even when they have to get out the truck and look a couple times, because the pylons are quite closer than like a typical truck parking spot. So yeah, it's I think that was kind of some of the inspiration for it as well, right?
nice?
Yeah.
But then, Philip, maybe a question for you. Then one of the stars is usually tied also to camera changes, right?
Yes, we wanted to promote usage of interior camera because
Why?
this is the
I hate you guys.
this is the most real life you can get.
That's true. That's true.
So for most of us, even I think it's the hardest one.
Yeah, for me definitely.
Yeah.
For me definitely.
Yeah, for me also.
But I have this problem with any vehicle game, or how to say it, like even the racing games, I always play it with the exterior camera. I just like to see the cargo in our game, So I'm not really used to drive from, as Mark is presenting, from interior only.
I was curious because you guys said you can do this by driving forward, but it doesn't seem possible to me.
Yeah, you can. We did it in the stream.
I mean, what truck were you using?
Not sure.
I mean,
Maybe we turned around after the first aisle.
I think you turned around in this area.
In this area?
Yeah.
Okay. Maybe we jackknifed it
I
a
was
little
a little
bit.
surprised you
Sketch.
managed to do that actually, but
Do you see that pole?
Yeah.
That one is not necessary there.
It's holding up the electricals.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it just was there. You cannot, you cannot do anything about it.
All right, the 3 stars. So, is there any other rewards for people who will pass this whole chapter, or I don't know? Maybe is there any like achievement if they will hit every of them with 3 stars? Will they get
yeah,
anything?
there are, I believe, 3 achievements. Some are for passing the module, some for having, I believe, 3 stars in at least 23 scenarios.
And what's the total number?
26,
26.
I believe. So there's some buffer zone, but
Not the big one. Not the big one though. three scenarios only. Come on, man! You guys
Yeah.
are an evil bunch of developers.
Someone has to be evil here.
Yeah, true.
But we also have paint job for your truck and trailer. Actually, for the truck, I believe you can get it by passing the
first chapter.
the
Yes.
first module. And if you want a matching paint job for your trailer as well, you can
So you can
finish.
flex while doing
Yeah.
convoy later with your friends.
And you can get some nice plushies for your
As a
cabin
cabin accessories. Cool. Cool.
in the form of a cone, because
Yeah,
Nice.
I think this trailer is the most like something you can really flex because it's
Yeah.
really.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
that
yeah.
one. That one basically means that you passed the second chapter, the more difficult one, right?
Yes.
yeah.
Cool. So you guys were cooperating with our vehicle department, right? Because I guess the paint jobs were done by those guys.
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah.
Cool. Shout out to them as well.
Yeah,
And the cabin
great.
accessory as well, I believe.
Yeah.
That's usually done in that department as well. Shout out to those working on that. But back to the 3 stars. One of the star is sometimes, quite often, tied to time. But it's not every time 10 minutes. How were you guys designing what time range there should be for the stars? Is it based on on Mark's best tries or yours best tries or?
We had extensive testing, so we had players with different skill sets.
Mm-hmm.
So we had beginner players, some medium players, and some really hardcore players, and we tried to average it out. So these times are not random.
Mm-hmm.
We really deliberately chose them. But in regards to time, I would like to mention that it's not racing. It's time here is just.
But it puts you in the pressure, you know?
Yeah, you should be deliberate with your emotions,
Yeah.
but you should not feel that you have to race.
I mean, for example, in advanced alley backing, which I just did, which you guys just saw. Now I bumped a barrier.
Yes.
That's on me. I didn't think I was that close to it, but I did it in 2 minutes and 30 seconds into the parking spot, and you can see the time was 2 minutes and 30 seconds. If you go back and rewatch this portion, you can see I was not rushing. I really took my time, and that was kind of how we did it. It was all default keyboard settings. Even like, you know, I think probably me and Morello could probably do this in like what, 1 minute and 40 seconds or something when we tried it.
Really?
Yeah. But I mean, we've been testing the heck out of this scenario, so you know, we knew it like the back of our hand. So, you know, we tried to take into account, okay, we did it this fast. What if we try it again, but we like never go faster than like 5 miles an hour? You know what I mean? This was kind of our, you know, we tried to take like the worst case scenario of someone that like knew what they were doing though.
Mm-hmm.
Like knew which way to turn the wheel, knew which way to manipulate the trailer, but really like going slow, being cautious.
Yeah, I think there was also this rule, like no skidding, not even in the rain, you know, not going too fast. So
Mhm.
it was really like we really, this was something that was said many times. No racing, it will not be racing.
Mhm.
You know.
Namir, you said this pole was in the way, right? But
Yeah.
honestly, like I didn't have any trouble at all. Like maybe it's just like a skill issue or something. Like,
Yeah. We missed you, Mark.
can I get rid
Okay.
of
I also wanted to touch more on those scenarios that you put bad weather in it. For
Mhm.
example, fog, raining.
Oh yeah.
Like, what's the idea behind that? To simulate like that the physics or behavior of the truck gets very different through some bad weather, and that people should count on that, or what's the idea behind those scenarios?
Actually, it was the basic idea. We came up in the beginning of,
Mhm.
of even thinking about it. We just wanted to have the truck in a just harder condition. So it is the one way how to make the scenarios harder. Maybe if you want to add something.
Yeah, we originally we thought it would be enough to just add some these harder modifiers to these maneuvers from the first module,
Mhm.
but we quickly realized that it's simply not enough. So it's not enough just to have bad weather. You just need to make really something special with it.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, as you said, with bad weather or driving in night,
Yeah.
just putting your skills into different conditions,
Mhm.
just getting the feel of
But it
the
makes
truck.
it makes a lot of difference. We were trying to do, I believe it's parallel reverse parking in the night. One of the scenarios, you can't see nothing. You can't
Yes.
see a thing with like trying to do it only from interior, and just using your mirror, you're basically blind.
Yeah, in
the night.
Actually, in the first module, this scenario is one of the easiest, parallel parking, but it's in the daylight. So, but if you just simply put this scenario in
It makes a
night,
lot
it's
of difference.
completely
Yeah,
different,
it makes a lot of difference. Mark, why don't truckers and trucks and trailers in real life have some super bright lights at the back, man?
So it is an option. You can get them installed from the factory, or you can even get the wiring harness installed from the factory and then install whatever crazy lights you would like. But yeah, lots of guys do have them.
Does it help?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
But my, for example, myself. I had that
someone
roll-
evil again.
If you remember that from my Mark's trucking trip video,
Mhm.
I pulled that curtain side trailer.
Mhm.
That curtain side trailer is actually over wide, but because it's considered part of the load covering, we're allowed to get away with it. So it's 106 inches wide. The lights on the side of the truck are 102 inches wide. So when I turn them on, I just get blinded by my own trailer because it's that shiny aluminum, right? So I'm used to not using them. But back in the old days, you'll see a lot of older trucks, they actually have a spotlight, like a police interceptor style spotlight on each side of the roof. And that's from the old days when the parking lots were a lot worse. There wasn't a lot of light standards to light up everything. When you were backing up, you could turn on that light, point it wherever you needed to as you were backing up to see everything you needed to see.
Cool.
Yeah,
That's cool.
I have no idea this was the thing. Wow.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I'm just a wealth of knowledge over here, man.
Well, back to the chapter 2, like you guys mentioned a few things that got changed, like for example the video tutorial is gone and stuff like that, but I believe other things like that everyone can watch a replay and things like that, they're still present, right? They're
Yeah. There is also a little feature that in the previous book you can see where you made the mistake. So we added also when you made some mistake or use too much correction that you lose the star, so you can also see
so you can see where you
lost the star.
Nice. So you can be even more sad about it.
Yes. We are evil.
True. So how long was this chapter 2 in production, or can you tell us more about like how it went and maybe some like milestones in the production, or maybe some difficulties or maybe some bugs you found on the way? Or
Well, one of the most difficult things was to set the difficulty right. We spent a lot of time on that, and as I said, we had really extensive testing. And shout out to our testing department for everybody who helped us with Driving Academy, because there was a lot of spreadsheets and a lot of discussions if this scenario should be set at 4 direction changes or 3 direction changes. So we spent a lot of time on that, but I hope it's worth it, and at least with the past conditions, it should be really achievable by everyone who
I think it's kind
puts
of
their heart to it.
mandatory, right, to do like super long testing on things like this, because there is no pattern how to do it. You guys were finding a nice balance between challenging enough and still doable for most of the people around the world, right? Which is super tough job to find the balance.
I guess what was hardest to find in finding a balance was this different input you can have. You know, if you have steering wheel, you have keyboard. How do you set up the difficulty? You know,
That's true.
yeah. So you need to find some.
Why
middle
does
road, yeah.
anyone drive these long hood trucks? Like,
I can admit that Early Bird in Euro Truck Simulator 2 is probably a little bit easier because of the cab over trucks.
yeah. Sorry, Vojta, I didn't mean to interrupt you. I'm
That's
just
okay.
super frustrated over here.
I understand very well. So we had even discussion with you can also adjust the steering sensitivity. You know, so if we will work with the default steering, or we just have some to make it a little bit closer to the steering wheel, so we have the like higher sensitivity with the steering. So, which I actually recommend to adjust the sensitivity to a little bit higher. It would be much easier with the keyboard this way. Maybe you would like to add something?
Were there any funny moments on the way, like making it?
Yeah, we even brought some funny video.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Benny, you got a video from them?
It's just some funny bug that just happened.
Oh my god! What?
It's just trailer as a head.
Okay, can we have this in the game? That would make it a lot easier, because the trailer would not, go in a different direction if you would be steering with it. That's a nice cap, Mr. Truck. That's awesome, man. The trailer is just going around.
This is future.
This is future, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. That guy didn't see a thing wrong. He was like, "Yeah, come in, another truck with trailer." How did it happen? How this did happen, man? You can park it even like the trailer overlapping the barrier. Cool.
Basically, you are trying to make some adjustment with the trailer settings for the replays.
Oh, okay. But see how easy it is with setup like this. That's awesome, man.
Yeah. So we even had this
Yeah.
funny moments.
Yeah, thanks for bringing that,
Not everything
sharing
was
that with us.
blood and sweat.
So, is there, I don't know, any like future of Driving Academy as well? You guys are done now, or you are already already?
Actually, you are quite close to the truth because I'm leaving to some other project, so I'm done.
No. But I believe another project was still within the company, right?
Yes, it's with
Okay.
still with it. Thankfully, I would be so sad to leave. Yeah.
But Driving Academy, of course, has a future. Observant players.
Because even in the menu, there is still
Yes, observant players can
yeah.
see there is at least one coming soon. And yes, we are planning to bring you more. And
Can you hint? Is it gonna be even more challenging, or
I can
is it gonna
say
be-
that in a way it will be closer to the first module.
Oh, it's gonna be more about learning stuff.
Yes, you will learn some new things.
I mean, for me, it means more torturing tools for Peter. I always welcome that.
But speaking of the future, it's a lot of it is in the hands of the community because we actually have a mod support in the Driving Academy. So if you are passionate about it, as we are, you can make your own scenarios.
Oh, nice.
So if you want to torture
You can be
your
ev-
fellow players,
Yeah, you can be
go
even
for it.
more evil than these guys.
Yeah. And just in general, we are always looking at forums. We have a dedicated subforum for Driving Academy. So we are always looking for feedback and your opinions about Driving Academy. So feel free to write there.
So did the feedback from the community play a major role from the first chapter in making the second one?
Yeah, definitely,
Yeah?
definitely.
Okay,
We looked
cool.
at the feedback for the first module and definitely took it into account. So you can do it the same for the future. And we also, as with this model, there is a lot of ways how you can approach these scenarios. So we are always looking at how some players are really finding new ways even we did not think before. So post them and we will
Nice.
see them. So
So someone was asking in the chat as well that if there is a plan to maybe bring also like new vehicles into the Driving Academy in terms of like, for example, day cab trucks, because they want to get the shorter ones, so it's gonna be more easy for them. I don't blame them. I'm on the same boat there. So are there any plans to also bring like different configurations of trucks or trailers or whatever? Or you guys can't tell as of now?
we can't tell, but in general, we want the vehicles to be sort of similar in sizes.
So there is no
Yeah.
easy way around, right? Like,
Yes.
are there any other easy ways around, like tricks you would recommend for the community to make the scenarios easier for them, maybe?
I think in general, just take your time. I think it's the best advice. Just take your time, focus what's your objective,
Mhm.
and find the best way how to do it. Just-
I think we set some of these. So quick restart, the steering sensitivity. This
Mhm.
might also help. The setting.
Adjust your mirrors
Yeah,
and seating
yeah.
position every time.
Yeah, adjust properly your mirrors. This is very.
Hood mirrors as well, right, Mark?
I can't see any hood mirrors on this truck. I guess I can sort of see the one on the right, but I'm not using them.
Is there anything, guys, we didn't touch and we would love to talk about or
Yeah.
share with the community? I see you guys came prepared.
Yeah,
you
very.
guys did your homework for the stream, so
We did.
I would not like you to be sad that we missed a point or two.
Yeah. Just. I also want to thank personally for all the feedback we are getting because we really
You hear that, Chad?
listen to it, we read it, We are very happy for any positive feedback. We are really glad for any negative feedback, so we can make something adjustment or make something better.
But we like positive feedback a little more, right?
Oh, yeah, of course we like positive feedback, but also any ideas. If you have some ideas, what would you like to see, then just bring it in, and we are really happy to read it.
Okay. You guys, anything?
I would just like to thank the team because we have a great team with Driving Academy. Designers, programmers, testers, producers, people from the vehicle department. Just it's a really personal project for a lot of us, and we put a lot of heart into it, and I hope it shows. So yeah, thanks for the community, and thanks team.
Awesome. Mark, how about you? You having good time, hard time there?
Good and bad. There's a few that I've not managed to conquer, but I think I'm chipping away at it pretty good. I think one thing I can recommend is like don't get stuck on something. Like, give it a couple tries. If you get frustrated with it, move on to the next one. Come back to it later. The number one thing, and this goes for real life as well, is to like stay cool and stay calm. If you're gonna let yourself get stressed out, then it's never gonna end well. This is something we teach in the driving school as well. Like the number one thing is managing your stress, managing your anxiety. Yeah.
Okay. And you mentioned quite a good thing. Maybe we missed that one, because in this chapter 2 or Truck Driving Proficiency chapter, those scenarios are not. You don't need to pass them in, one by one, right? You can skip one if one of them is given like super hard times for you. You can skip that one and get back to it a little bit later.
Yeah, absolutely.
Was that the idea? Because of some of them might be too difficult for people, so you guys decided to let them skip that one, or?
Yeah, of course. There is no final exam because this is not
a curse.
Yeah. So the idea was to lessen the frustration. If you are frustrated in one scenario, maybe another scenario will play more into your skills. So yeah, of course, there was this aspect.
Nice. And now when the 1.55 update that brought up this new content for both of our games is out, do you guys see and monitor the feedback, and how happy are you with the balance of challenging and doable? Are you, or you think that maybe some of the scenarios you made too difficult, or maybe some of them could be even more difficult?
Well, I have doubts, of course. I'm thinking maybe this was really too hard, just one correction for the whole scenario. It's always maybe we overdid it with some difficulty. On the other hand, I'm really glad it provides real challenge for even the players that has many hours there. So it's also for them, and some people from the community asked for some real challenge.
That's
so
true. That's true.
It's here, right? Now it's here. So yeah.
Okay. Cool. Maybe Mark, for you, I can see you are again using one of your tricks.
Tricks?
You picked a truck that has a window in the cabin, and you're using that one. That's a nice thing to do. So here you have it, Chet. Mark is presenting you some small way around that you can help yourself.
I think I'm still
maybe blind for the next.
Yeah, you should guys put something like you should put a picture of Mark there on the window just for Driving Academy. But
I messed up.
Damn, what I wanted to ask. Oh yeah, I wanted to ask Mark, for you as a former truck driver and driving school instructor, we heard many stories that people who spent a lot of time playing our game in general, sometimes had easier time to pass CDL licenses. Do you think that for those who would pass both of the chapters of Driving Academy would benefit even more, that they can actually learn a few techniques or tricks, or
I mean, before Driving Academy was ever out, I already saw, people even in the driving school when I was there for the short period I was there. I saw people who come in and they kind of sheepishly play. Like I'd say, oh, like you're pretty good. Like were you backing up your dad's boat trailer as a kid or something? I play a video game. I'm like, oh, American Truck Simulator, and they're like, yeah, right.
Nice.
So already I saw people like with better kind of understanding of what the trailer is going to do and how to manipulate it and stuff like that. So, and that's just from playing the base game. So I think if people are considering getting to CDL and they're going through truck driving basics and truck driving proficiency, and I think it'll be a huge benefit. Like I think this is really kind of like the next level compared to just backing up a trailer into a depot in the base game, right? It would absolutely help. And if you're doing it and you're having fun with it and you're thinking about getting your license and you're getting 3 stars on everything, then that's your sign.
True.
Sign up at driving school. Go get her done.
True that. Were you guys even ever thinking about like maybe creating some kind of leaderboards? Like,
Wow, we have so much ideas again.
yeah, I mean, I guess, right? But it would be nice to see people like trying to be at the first top 10 or somehow, I believe it would immediately create even more stress. So maybe it's not the best idea, but it could create some kind of like a e-sport-ish kind of thing. People competing each other.
Maybe.
Okay.
Just,
Look at these guys. They won't share anything with us. Man. Who invited them?
Yeah, but I think Driving Academy is a great framework for many things.
Mhm.
And it's different from the base game, and we always thinking about what we can put there for the players to
Mhm.
experience that's a little bit different and interesting. So yeah, there's a lot of things we discuss, and yeah,
Okay.
we'll see.
Okay. So I believe there is still a lot of new things coming in the future for this module, or how to say it, like of our games. Definitely, chat. Keep your eyes on our communication channels, such as blog.scsoft.com, where we talk about everything we prepare for you and everything we are cooking for you when it's the right time to talk about it. And I don't know, guys, do you have any final message? Because we have about like 3 minutes before the time we had for this stream today is going to pass. Meanwhile, I will try to find someone we can rate. But guys, the stage is the microphones are yours. So if you have any message to the community, now it's your chance.
Okay, so I take this opportunity just to thank you because I really have such a great appreciation for you, and I don't think there is many games and companies who have such a great community, and I really mean this very, very honestly, that I really very, very, very appreciate all of you. Thank you for playing our game. Thank you for giving us mostly positive feedback. And looking also for the negative ones.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, well said, Vojta.
You have anything to add, or
I think it was.
he stole the thunder?
Yeah. Really, thank you for playing our game, and keep the feedback coming. Yeah.
And make some mods for Academy.
Yeah.
That would be nice to see.
We actually saw one, and they used our tools in a way we didn't even know it's possible. So, just
Yeah, we actually saw just a video from the mod, never actually the final product. So hopefully we will see it someday.
Awesome. Mark, you have any message? I believe with you we will see you again later this week for the Iowa stream.
Yeah. No, I think same thing. I'm gonna echo what these guys said. Man, I was so close to being done. You had to call on me.
Yeah, it's my fault, of course.
No, I think I'm glad everyone's having fun with it. I see some people stressing that they're not able to get 3 stars and stuff like that, but it's just practice makes perfect.
True.
Go through it again, maybe go back to even truck driving basics and see if maybe there's something you missed in the instructions there, some little tips or hints that you missed the first time around. But this is meant to be fun, so don't be too hard on yourself.
Awesome. We have some appreciation messages in the chat from the chat as well. Thank you guys for it. And well, as we are getting to 7, which means that we were gonna end this stream. Guys, Mark, Philip, Wojta, thank you so much for coming. Thank you for giving us your time, telling us more about this awesome project. Thank you for all the work done on that. And I believe and hope to see you in some of the future streams again. And Chet, thank you for joining us. Make sure to come back tomorrow, because tomorrow we have another stream in the plans. I believe tomorrow we're gonna have a community convoy with one of our content creators, and then on Thursday we gonna release Iowa DLC for American Truck Simulator. With that stream we will be live from 4 p.m. of Central European Summer Time already, so it's gonna be 3-hour long stream. We're gonna have developers from Iowa team, and at the end of the stream we're gonna smash that release button together. Now I'm gonna rate a content creator called Lulu Bang Bang. Never heard about them, but they are playing American Truck Simulator now. From what I've seen, they're driving a little bit crazy, so don't scare them when we move there. Always remember, you guys are representing the best community ever, so behave, spread love, no toxicity, say hi to them, and thank you all for coming. And that's all from us from Prague, and see you next time, guys.
Thank you for having us.
See you.
See you.